I'm sorry, but the next meeting is approaching. So, if you'll excuse me, I have to go now.
I apologize for keeping you waiting this long. We were analyzing and reviewing the data and research results from various angles regarding this loan.
As of today, the contract period has expired, so the $4 million loan is canceled.
What?
My name is Keiji Sato, and I'm the head of Tokimeki Works. Today, I came to negotiate the renewal of a contract with Dokito Electronics, but here's the material for this meeting. Thank you. I'll take a look.
Before we proceed, we'd like to review it on our side. Could you wait a moment?
Sure. Later.
Thank you for waiting.
Looks like we kept you waiting for a bit. We finalized our stance, so let's start the negotiation. I'm terribly sorry, but the next meeting is approaching. So if you'll excuse me, I have to go now.
I apologize for keeping you waiting this long. We've been analyzing and reviewing the data and research results from various angles regarding this loan.
I appreciate all the effort you've invested, but I really can't spare any time at the moment. Excuse me. Well, if you're short on time, I suppose there's no helping it.
Let's discuss this in the next meeting. At that time, we'll make sure to prepare and submit a detailed report on our stance.
No. As of today, the contract period has expired, so the $4 million loan is canceled.
What?
Wait a moment. Why are we suddenly talking about ending the contract?
That's right. We were planning to finalize the production of our new smartphone and the related loan in this meeting. If we lose the $4 million loan, it will be a huge problem for our company.
I understand your circumstances, but I'm here for business as well, so I must insist on keeping to the agreed schedule. Yes? Hello? Miss Sakamoto, how are you doing?
Sakamoto? Could that be the representative from Tokide Bank? The one handling our loan?
I'm sorry, but the contract with Dokito Electronics has been terminated. So please cancel the loan for this project. Do you want to speak with Mr. Kuwata? He's here. Let me pass the phone.
Yes, this is Kuwata speaking.
I've just spoken with Mr. Sato, and we'll be canceling the loan for this project. This product development was only possible because Tokimeki Works was involved in the production. So without the contract, we cannot proceed with the loan. We hope we can work together again in the future.
What? This loan was critical for our company. What are we supposed to do now?
Hey, Mr. Sato, don't you think you're being a bit too harsh? Harsh? What do you mean by that? Our contract isn't something where every second counts, is it? And yet, you're canceling it just because we couldn't have one meeting? That's way too harsh.
Yes, exactly. Even if we couldn't finalize the contract today, we could always reschedule the meeting.
When we set the schedule for this meeting, we agreed that today's discussion would determine whether the contract would be renewed, didn't we? Mr. Kuwata, when you negotiated with me before, you were very strict about time. In fact, you once nearly terminated our contract because you set such a rigid time frame for our meeting. Well, it turned out that the clock was incorrect, so the contract remained in effect.
I guess something like that did happen.
I only responded the same way you did, Mr. Kuwata, so I don't think I'm being too strict about time. Now then, if you'll excuse me. A few days later, at Dokito Electronics, we've been dropped by Mr. Sato's company, and now we don't have a supplier for semiconductors. We've got to do something about this.
There's plenty of companies that manufacture semiconductors. If the contract with our previous supplier has ended, we just need to find a new one. Reach out to every semiconductor manufacturer you can, and find a supplier to replace Tokimeki Works.
Got it. However,
no matter where we try, no factory is willing to do business with us. What's going on here?
The entire sales department is working on securing new suppliers, but...
Mr. Kuwata, Mr. Shindo, have you two noticed anything?
Notice what?
The semiconductors that Mr. Sato Tokimeki Works was producing and planned to deliver to our company are among the highest quality in the industry.
Well, that may be true, but
Both you, Mr. Kuwata, and Mr. Shindo are trying to demand the same quality from the new suppliers. I've visited a few places myself, and they all said it'd be impossible to match Tokimeki Works' quality and turned us down.
The places I visited said the same thing. I never imagined that factory had such advanced technology.
The problem isn't just that we can't find a replacement for Tokimeki Works.
Miss Kokubunji, what brings you here?
I heard the sales department isn't doing well. The news about ending the contract with Mr. Sato's Tokimeki Works has already reached our other business partners. They're assuming this will impact future smartphone development, and we're receiving contract termination notices one after another.
Excuse me?
At this point, half of our business partners have already contacted us, and we're begging them to continue their contracts.
Half of them? If we lose that many contracts, our product development will completely stall.
I heard you had properly scheduled negotiations with Tokimeki Works, but because of a mistake on your end, the meeting didn't happen.
Well, we were reviewing whether the product was worth investing in and developing, based on the data and research results.
Relying on data is fine, but losing your business partners? Because of it defeats the purpose, doesn't it? Make sure you work harder to keep our business partners from leaving.
Understood.
I'm terribly sorry. Several hours later. Mr. Sato.
Could we have a moment to speak with you?
Huh? Mr. Kuwata? Mr. Shindo? We also have our own schedule, so it's important to have an appointment if you want to visit. Please, we're begging you. We'd like to discuss the contract termination and the matter of the loan.
If it's about the loan with Tokimeki Works, that was finalized just a short while ago.
Miss Sakamoto? What do you mean by that?
Nice to meet you. I'm Noah Kanamori from the sales team at Days Electronics. We've just signed a contract with Tokimeki Works to develop a new smartphone using their latest semiconductors.
Smartphone development?
Don't tell me that means...
The product that was originally planned to be developed with Dokito Electronics has now been entrusted to Days Electronics instead. Since this product development was a condition for the loan, Ms. Sakamoto decided to provide the funding to Days Electronics.
Wait a minute. That contract and the product development were originally supposed to proceed with us.
But wasn't the contract terminated?
Yes, that's true, but...
If we had acted just a little sooner, we might have been able to talk before the contract with Days Electronics was signed. I don't think so. The fact remains that the contract with Dokito Electronics has already been terminated. No matter how hard you try to convince me, I wasn't interested in continuing with your company. We can't work with a partner who prioritizes data analysis over maintaining relationships with their business partners and clients. No way.
Tokide Bank has finalized its lending partner, and from now on, we will be relying on Mr. Sato and Miss Kanamori. It's truly a shame that you two ended your contract with such an excellent manufacturer.
Mr. Kuwata and Mr. Shindo left, visibly frustrated. However, 6 months later, Dokito Electronics released its new product at the same time as Days Electronics. But
why is there such a huge gap in sales? The performance shouldn't be that much worse.
Mr. Kuwata, now's the time to use the data analysis and market research you always value.
You're right. Let's analyze the sales data and gather consumer feedback.
Excuse me, but if I must say, the smartphone developed by Days Electronics has a cutting-edge camera feature. It can capture immersive, vivid, and three-dimensional photos and videos. On top of that, thanks to the miniaturized semiconductors, They've managed to make the smartphone smaller in size. On the other hand, our new product doesn't have any groundbreaking features. Honestly, I think it's tough to beat Days Electronics.
Oshima, whose side are you on? Dokito Electronics or Days Electronics?
Of course I'm on Dokito Electronics' side. But this time I think we have to admit defeat.
That's unacceptable. Shindo,
Yes?
we're heading to the trade show at the electronics retail store to pitch our product directly.
Okay. The new model developed with Days Electronics seems to be selling really well.
It's all thanks to the amazing semiconductors from your company, Mr. Sato. Thanks to that, we finally achieved our long-standing goal of developing a smartphone with advanced camera capabilities.
No way. It's thanks to you, Miss Kanamori. You recognized how valuable our semiconductors are and decided to join forces with us.
Well, let's just say it was a win-win for both of us.
Exactly.
Mr. Sato, it looks like sales are going well for you.
Ah, hi there. Are you here to check out the scene, Mr. Kuwata? Mr. Shindo?
Yes, we're here to promote our new product and conduct some market research.
At the end of the day, you're getting the freshest data right from the sales floor. Data, huh? I don't think data alone tells the whole story, though. What do you mean by that?
Mr. Kuwata, Mr. Shindo, you're not here hoping to get inspiration from Mr. Sato's technology or, dare I say, thinking about renegotiating a contract with him? Are you?
What? No, of course not.
Our production has been running at full capacity ever since this new product became a big hit. If you're thinking about renegotiating a contract, I'm sorry, but we currently don't have the bandwidth for any additional production.
If you truly understood the significance of Mr. Sato's semiconductor technology, without being misled by just the data and research, you wouldn't have ended the contract so carelessly, right? And there's no way we'd allow a rival company to use the same semiconductors. So please give up on the idea of bringing Mr. Sato on board.
We're not here to renegotiate with Mr. Sato. We've already found a new supplier to deliver semiconductors. And today, we're just here to gather information to beat other brands.
Oshima, what's the matter?
Mr. Kuwata, we've got a serious issue. The products using Doyomeki's semiconductors, which Mr. Shindo secured the contract for, are showing multiple defects.
What did you say?
This defect turned out to be a latent issue that couldn't have been detected before shipping. And now product recalls are pouring in. Since the new model is being recalled all around, we can't really hope for any additional sales from it.
No way.
I can't believe Doyomeki's semiconductors would have such a critical flaw.
Just so you know, Miss Kokobunji from the exec team is visiting the sales department, so please return as soon as you can. Doyomeki, I suspected as much.
Miss Kanamori, did you have a hunch about this?
Actually, there was a discussion in our company about whether we should use Doyomeki semiconductors. It's more like the instinct of a salesperson, or maybe the insight from the folks on the factory floor. While inspecting the semiconductor, the workers expressed that they thought using it could pose some risks.
Are you saying you foresaw that using Doyomeki semiconductors could lead to this outcome?
We didn't expect the issue to escalate to this scale, but we were cautious and didn't fully trust it from the start.
When we reviewed the data and the materials provided during the semiconductor contract negotiations, there didn't seem to be any issues. I don't get it.
With all the new models being recalled, what are we supposed to do now?
Do you think that's even possible?
Miss Sakamoto,
I stopped by because I wanted to see how the sales of the products we're financed were going. And as I expected, trusting Mr. Sato and Miss Kanamori was the right decision.
Miss Sakamoto, please consider financing our company as well.
From what I've heard, it sounds like Dokito Electronics will need to handle a massive recall of products from here on out, correct? Additionally, you'll need to compensate the consumers who purchase those products. A company in such a position doesn't have much future potential. So, as a bank, we can't provide financing.
What?
Data and research have their limits sometimes. It's the seasoned factory workers and their instincts that truly understand what's happening. If you had listened to the opinions of your factory workers, perhaps this could have been avoided.
Oh, how did it come to this? Afterward, Dokito Electronics, which had used Doyomeki semiconductors and products beyond the latest smartphone, suffered a major blow to its business and ended up going bankrupt.
If only we hadn't ended the contract with Mr. Sato back then.
We shouldn't have relied solely on the data. Meanwhile, I'm discussing plans with Miss Kanamori to develop new products together.
Mr. Sato, I brought a few proposals. Can you take a look at them?
These all look like exciting products.
Right? You know, I'm having so much fun working with you, Mr. Sato.
Same here. Thanks for watching till the end.
Don't forget to subscribe to the channel.